A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's the Second Amendment. Now, not too long ago, less than a year ago, I know you remember, there was a trend going on where politicians were telling us that the Second Amendment was given to those who were at the founding of our country for a reason. And the reason was to hunt, to procure food. Now, after listening to the Second Amendment for yourself, you know factually that that is an absolute pathological, bold-faced lie. Now, why did they lie to us? Well, this answer is twofold. Firstly, America has never been invaded, ever. And no army is foolish enough to invade America. Because if you invade America, you have to take two things into consideration. One, we have our two beautiful oceans protecting us, to the east and to the west. So if a nation wants to come in war with America, they would have to send millions of men across the sea. Thousands of ships, thousands of planes, thousands of weapons, millions of weapons. And then once they get here, they will be met by 350 million armed citizens. That is an impossible war to win. And we clearly saw this in the Vietnam War because America outmatched Vietnam in every way. But if you have to go on the offensive and go to someone's home, to their nation, to their country, and check every house, check behind every tree, behind every corner, and know that there will be a person there with a gun, you'll quickly realize that that's a losing war. So the second reason that they lied to us is because they understand that they cannot take us down with military force. They have to take us down from the inside. They have to get us to willingly give up our rights. So in the schools, they've been brainwashing our children, as we've seen. They have hit us with lie after lie after lie in such rapid succession that we're at a point where our heads are spinning and we don't know what to do. We don't know what's right and what's wrong. We don't know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. We see right now, they wish to get rid of the Electoral College. Another lie that they are shoving down our throats so fast that we don't even have time to think about it. Many of the people who are in favor of getting rid of the Electoral College have no idea what the Electoral College does. You see, the popular vote is not the only thing that governs our nation, because if it did, it would be mob rule. It would eventually become the equivalent of letting the wolves vote on what's best for the sheep. The laws that work in California won't work in North Dakota. In California, there are millions of people. California, there's crime like no other. In North Dakota, cities are 30, 40, 50, 100 miles away. So the police presence in California is not the same as the police presence in North Dakota. Gun violence in California is not the same as gun violence in North Dakota. There is no gun violence in North Dakota. So why should California, one of the most populated states, be able to decide what happens in North Dakota? And that's what happens when you get rid of the Electoral College. But even bigger, if you look at this twofold plan, because they're not just trying to get rid of the Electoral College alone. At the very same time, they have our borders wide open and they're importing people by the hundreds of thousands per month into this country. They've been doing it for a very long time. The borders have been open for at least 10 years. No, they've been open longer, way longer than that, but it's been a crisis for about 10 years now. And the reason they're doing this is because poor people will always vote for socialism. Stalin said it himself. Create a democracy, and the people will always vote themselves into socialism. That's why this is a constitutional republic, not a democracy. But the reason for this is because if you bring millions of poor people in and you tell them, we will redistribute the wealth, we will take everything from everyone, from every free citizen, and we will redistribute it so that you will have an equal piece. What poor person would say no? Sounds good. But as we all know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So just like in every other socialist nation, every other monarch, every other tyranny that our founding fathers fought to come up from under, the people at the top who are in charge of distributing this wealth will take it for themselves. But even bigger, if you understand the ultimate plan, the ultimate agenda, the reason that mass migration is not just a problem of America. It started almost 10 years ago in Europe and in Canada. Destroying the Second Amendment and getting rid of our guns is not just a problem in America. They just banned all weapons, I believe, in Australia. There are no guns in Europe. When you understand that the silencing of a certain people is not just being done in America, this political correctness that allows me to say your speech is offensive, therefore you don't deserve to speak. It's happening in Canada and in Europe. The entire Western world is under attack for a reason. But instead of going into that reason, I just want to say that America is the light of the world in a very specific way. We are the only free nation. But we have a gift right now and an opportunity. Because if we unite and we rise, the rest of the world will unite and rise with us. We've seen the protests in France, the yellow vest protests. They protest for months, nearly got nothing done. They don't have any weapons. Now imagine if we protested, if we went out into the streets with ARs, with Subtech 2000s. Imagine what we would do. And they know this, and they're terrified of this. So it is up to us to unite and to take back our country. Because we're merely one election away from losing it all. And once we give up our guns, and once this socialist nation is in place, there will never be a revolt that can pull us out of it. Facial recognition is coming. Artificial intelligence is coming. Drones, robots, all the things that if we unite are ours. The men and women who created these things are our young, dark sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. And they want to fight for our ideals. But we're allowing the elites to push the narrative and to guide us when we have to unite and should unite to guide ourselves. So this is our last chance, people. Fascism is on the rise. We see people being silenced. We see people being beat up. And this is just the beginning. Because once the laws align with their ideals, then you'll see the deaths that you see in Germany, and in China, and in Russia. This is no longer a game. This is our moment and our time to unite. So I'd like to welcome you to the United America Project.
Why do we be socialists? And then I will